So what was your mindset going into the finals against the number 1 seed Pixel Andy?
Andy's one of the most experienced Tetris players in the world. Second place in the World Championships one year, third place another year. Has numerous DAS world records and achievements. I mean, everybody knows Andy, right? He's an absolute legend in this game. And so I knew that no matter what I did, it was going to be a tough match, but I really don't care who it is. If they're playing DAS, I know I can win. The main thing was just stick to the principles, do my best to get behind in lines, which of course came in really clutch in Game 7. Definitely put some emphasis on pace in some of the later games, because if I remember correctly, we kept swapping who was in the lead of the series.
NGC needs a Tetris to take the game. That Tetris will take the game, and NGC is up 1-0. Oh, needs another long bar. Needs another long bar, 2 long bars, and fails to do so. Oh, some really bad pieces for NGC. That's some really rotten RNG up high. And unfortunately, that means that Andy would take the game and is now 2-1.
When I was down 2-1, I'm like, if I drop Game 4 and I go down 3-1, I mean, it's pretty much over. And so that game, I really turned it on.
Oh, this is a dangerous stack for Andy. Nice double. Very dangerous, very dangerous. Completely long bar dependent now for Andy. And Andy suffers an early top out. What was a best of 7 is now a best of 5. It's now a best of 3.
But that was the kind of the turning point in the match of when I won that game. Not only did I have like already 4 games in a row of working on my competition play, but I committed to a more aggressive play style right between where I was comfortable playing and like my pace runs that I do on my own. And so from that point, I kind of felt like, hey, if I make good decisions here, like I will probably score high enough to win 2 out of these 3 games.
Crucial moment, in fact. Drought counter still going, 33 pieces. 36 pieces, long bar never came. NGC is now at championship point.
I can't believe I'm in a position to win this thing. Just don't pee your pants and screw it up. That was the mindset. And so I remember, I don't know if it was an early top, but it was post-transition. I topped out in Game 6.
A level 23 top outs.
Yes. And so I'll never forget that game, because even in the post-transition, I'm pretty sure I was behind at the time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make Andy earn it. I'm going to go all the way to kill screen. I'm going to get my 800K, 850, whatever I get. If he beats that, fine. I'm going to force him to do it again, right? And if he can outlast me 2 games in a row, then so be it, right? That was kind of the mindset that game. But then in an effort to play safe, I played quote unquote too safe, thinking, oh, let's make a burn to keep the stack low. But it ended up kind of ruining my board in a way, and then I misdropped on top of that ruined board and it just fell apart. And so it actually hurt me in a sense that I tried to play a little too safe, and it was out of my comfort zone, and that's why I topped out.
NGC also really high up. Oh no, and there's nothing that NGC can do.
And then going into Game 7, I was like, my hands were just drenched in sweat. I had a headache. There was so much pressure. I'd been playing for so long. It was like really late. So it was just like, the atmosphere and the pressure was just unbelievable.
Going fast forward to Game 7, we go to level 25, level 26. You're roughly 200,000 points behind Andy at that moment.
Yeah, and for a split second, actually, I was 230,000 behind.
So you're 200,000 points behind. Did you knew that you had any chance of winning that game?
At that point, once I got to like 26, you can even see kind of like my reaction when I made that misdrop with the Z piece. I kind of sighed and like my head dropped a little. At that point, I thought it was over. But I'm like, let's just try to put on a show. Let's not get demolished in the final game. Let's see what I can do. And so that was the moment that I committed to playing basically perfectly. I knew I had 2 or 3 burns left at that point, so I'm like, take those burns, clean up the stack, and then don't take any more. And so the first probably Tetris or 2 was just me kind of like sulking, like, okay, let's just keep going, see what happens. But then at that moment, that was when I got enough information to know, like, oh, I could actually win this thing.
So Andy topped out at 940,000 points. You were late level 27, maybe early level 28. And because you misdropped that zap piece, your Tetris well got shifted from the right side to the center well. When Andy topped out at 940,000 points, did you know at that moment what you needed to do to win or to get very close?
Yes, and that was the one kind of silver lining of doing all these pace runs. Is the second Andy topped out, and I glanced over at Max Out Club and saw the deficit. I knew exactly what I had to do, and I knew that I had 0 burns, and I had to get an extra kill screen Tetris.
You made a very aggressive quick tap with a long bar.
He sent me to the left.
That long bar came and you pretty much had no use for it. Did you know instantly that you needed to put that long bar all the way on the left side?
I don't know about instantly. I mean, my brain was working faster at that exact moment than it probably ever has. But I remember the stack. I was already built out 8 or 9 rows high on the right, and the previous piece before the long bar was a Z piece, which I placed in the center of the. I was able to wall charge to the right, made moving the long bar to the left a lot easier.
There was some rumblings that the piece placement that you didn't fall between the limits of DAS and the quick taps.
A lot of that started very shortly after the conclusion of the match, like probably within an hour or two. You know, I'm in VC with my buddies, and Fractal was there, and he was like, you know, I'm not convinced you cheated. Like, I think, like, this doesn't look that weird, and it is Max Out Club, so let's, like, dig into it. And so again, big shout out to Fractal, and big thank you to Fractal for doing the investigation and proving my innocence.
Needs something to the left. Needs a long bar. Where's the long bar? Gets one of the long bars. Where's the other long bar? He takes the game. Oh my fucking god! NGC Man takes the fucking game to win the championship. Oh my fucking god!
The overflowing of adrenaline, and I'm gonna be honest, my celebration, it wasn't picked up on the mainstream, but I literally destroyed my voice for like 2 weeks. I lost my voice for a week, and the second week it was just like raspy, and like every time I talked it hurt. I mean, I shouted as loud as I ever have, and I had a headache, and it was just like my eyes hurt, and everything was just like throbbing, but in joy, of course.